Saints Row 4 is the epitome of goofy, self-referential fun. It knows exactly what it wants to be, an outrageous exercise in player power fantasy, and it totally succeeds.
Found another.
You play as the leader of the Saints, once a street gang that is now the most popular and powerful organization on Earth. And after a prologue where you literally save the world, you are thrust into the presidency of the United States. You spend most of your time alternating between story missions and side quests and just running amok in the huge open world. On top of genre staples like third-person shooting and racing, there's also a lot of one-off sequences, like fighting zombie hordes in a supernatural bromance and battling tanks in a retro arcade throwback. The game moves nimbly from sequence to sequence and always offers something new. Every gameplay element in Saints Row 4 is escalated thanks to the game's focus on your progression as a superpowered hero. Within the first hour, you get the ability to jump superhuman heights and run blazing fast speeds. Soon, you're able to leap over buildings and blast enemies with elemental powers. These abilities, and the game's focus on them, absolutely blow the constraints off of a genre already known for player freedom. And developer Volition has created a worthy playground full of challenges and secondary missions that kept me on my toes. Ripping on every sci-fi game of the last 5 years, with Mass Effect 2 in particular, as well as Zero Dark 30 and The Matrix and buckets of nerd culture, Saints Row 4's narrative is lovable and dumb. The scenarios are constantly escalating, and the characters are well drawn, down to their ridiculous outfits and individual existential crises. It's not always laugh-out-loud funny, but the crazy themes coupled with matching gameplay meant I had a big grin on my face the entire playthrough. The anything goes attitude carries through to Saints Row 4's treatment of gender. Playing as a woman, my character was just as bold and brash as any male character. She could romance the women as well as the men of the Saints, and allies and enemies alike treated her exactly the same way. The game even allows you to change your sex, as well as your race or your body type, at any point during the adventure. This isn't to say there's nothing problematic with Saints Row 4's treatment of women. There were plenty of female sex workers running around town, but this felt like an oversight in a game that let me construct my own power fantasy and play as the superpowered black lesbian president of the United States of America. Saints Row 4 is an inclusive power fantasy. Tied together by parody and pastiche, the world is just one excuse after another to throw gameplay variety at the player, and I felt like an overpowered badass throughout. It's not sophisticated or subtle, nor does it want to be. And the game's open stance on character customization and gender let me play the way I wanted to. Saints Row 4 made me feel superhuman, and that's what this kind of game is all about.